Okay, today we saw a formation where it looked like Dean and Spence, the linebackers, were kind of in a maybe a slot position where there were three linebackers. Can you tell us about maybe what that looks like and what y'all are doing there?
Yeah, I mean, well, you might have, was it early? Or, I mean, they
Yeah.
may have been, they may
Early.
have, they may have had them all out there, Tom, just back, they have them all back up each other out there. That may be what you're thinking of, but I don't know. They may have had, were they in a walk, maybe?
No, it was a team. It was a team period, but
Well, we went to our odd front, would have
ah,
something to do with that as well. We went to our odd front, and then, that Jack Backer, you're right. You had Landon is one of those guys. Trajan, Jeff Coach, one of those guys. Spence is one of those guys. So that's what you saw. I'm sure you saw Buck standing up outside there with linebacker on top of him.
okay, cool. And my last question is: you mentioned had really come on. You thought he was really throwing it well. And last time we talked, is there anyone like him who's really like getting it and maybe moving up the chart?
Yeah, Andrew Armstrong done some really good things. Tesla, and I don't want to say too many because I think you're asking specifics about what pops off my head at the beginning. So those two guys really have Satagna, and then has Luke, and then Kudus at tackle would pop off. I'm talking about guys that you may not. It's really good to have Torrey and Carter back, playing some good ball. We talked about Landon before. Stewart, and Trajan Jeffcoat's hard to block now. Him and Morgan both. At the linebacker position, I think we've got three that's doing really well. Manny got dinked up a little bit, got injured a little bit, but he'll be fine, but just won't be back the rest of the spring. Snacks Johnson playing well. And, I could go on and on, Nudie, but those guys would pop off right when you asked the question about who has really had a better spring than maybe even I would have anticipated.
Coach, I've got a question and I've got one for Nate. On mine, you just said Luke, but the tight end position as a whole, you don't have big numbers there, but how do you feel about that position, Coach?
I think we're getting better there. And then we'll have to see what comes available and things of that nature. Obviously, we have Shamar Easter coming in as well, but I think we're getting better. I think Ty Washington is getting better. I think Max is getting better. Obviously, we've talked about and to be perfectly honest with you, Hunter Talley's getting better, and Lee and those guys, but it wouldn't be out of the realm that we would entertain to see, because we're playing a lot of 12, a lot of 13. Wouldn't be off the realm to think if somebody came available that we might not be interested. I don't know. We'll have to talk it out as a staff.
Sam, Nate wanted this one. He said, since fans really haven't got to see anything in the spring, is there anything in particular you want showcased for them Saturday?
No, we're going to scrimmage, and we're going to play our ball. We're going to play. I mean, everybody knows what Dan did, you know what I mean? And everybody knows what T. Will did over at UCF. So we're really not interested in hiding anything. We're just trying to get better. So we'll roll the ball out there and we'll have a good scrimmage.
Thanks, man.
Sam, you mentioned going more, 12 personnel, 13 personnel. We've seen a lot of that in practice. We've seen some 20 personnel, some 21 personnel. That's something that we should expect out of Coach Enos's offense this year, a lot of versatility like that.
Yeah, and I think part of it really, Andrew, is he's trying to find out, who our players are for himself. Obviously he's watched all the games and things of that nature, but I think he's trying to see where we can attack people in different formations. But he's got to see, he got to get a good feel about the line. He's got to get a good feel about how many tight ends we can put out there. But I think it wouldn't be real hard for us to be more multiple than what we were, because, we played so fast. But we'll be much different looking personnel wise than what we were before.
And you mentioned Snacks as a guy that's really stood out to you. He seems kind of like a real big talker out there, kind of like Nudie was last year. What's kind of like the walking the fine line of, you want your DBs to have a little bit of that, and then but also stay within what y'all like.
Yeah, well, if I hear it, and we'll take care of it, and our coaches are supposed to too. So I'll address the coaches about that. Thanks for getting them in trouble.
Great.
Yeah, Coach, I was wondering about the structure for Saturday. You going to go ones versus ones versus twos? Is the white team the offense and the red team defense? How you going to do it?
No, I tell you, Trey, we're just going to scrimmage. So to start out, we're going to kick off, and we're only going to kick off once with each group. So that's ones, twos, threes. We're going to punt twice with each group, ones, twos, and threes. We're going to try to get 9 field goals in at some point. But we'll go out there and we'll run 9 to 12 plays with the ones versus twos. I'm talking about offense. So we'll start with the one offense versus twos, then the 2-0 versus 1D, and then 3-3. The next time we come back will be 9 to 12, and it'll be good on good. It'll be 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3. And then the rest of the scrimmage is situational, but it's good on good. So third down will be third down and, different distances. And then we're going to have a third play fourth. We're going to have red area, high red and low area, low red. And then we'll have to get the ball back 2-minute type drill as well. And that all will be good on good, 1-on-1, 2-on-2. The only 1 versus 2 will be the beginning of the scrimmage.
So
White will be a live tackle scrimmage.
White will be offense and red will be defense, basically.
Yes, I guess red will be offense. Why, I don't know. I don't know. How's that work? Well, yes, offense will be one jersey, and defense will be the other jersey.
Can I get any way for the defense to score? Like if they get a
no, and to be honest with you, Trey, it's really not a scoring scrimmage. I mean, I guess they could, but it's not a game type situation. I guess what I'm saying.
Okay, gotcha.
I think the fans will really like it because we're rolling out there and getting busy.
Yeah, I think so too. Isaac Tesla, the last couple of practices, he's made some really impressive one-handed catches. Looks like KJ's even kind of maybe starting to look his way a little bit more. Do you feel like there's somebody's going to be the go-to receiver out of these guys? Do you feel like maybe, and I know you got a couple guys that are banged up too, but is he kind of maybe starting to separate himself a little bit?
He's catching a lot of wow balls, those are that separates receivers right there, is who can catch contested passes and who can catch the one that's unbelievably hard to catch. He seemed to have been able to do that. I've been pleased with Armstrong, like I talked about, and Sategna and Bryce and those guys as well. But maybe, the one that I'm missing out there is Tyrone Broden. I wish that we could get a better feel for him. I think he is coming along. He may be able to play Saturday, but yeah, Trey's really, you've been to practice. He's been impressive.
Thanks, Coach.
Brandon, wrap us up.
Hey, Coach. My apologies, more big picture and kind of a 2 or 3 part question in one. But one, what is you believe your health of your program is right now, and what has been the most challenging thing for you this spring, considering the turnover, and what do you think is going to be another challenge you'll have to face after the spring?
Well, the health of our team, we have some high ankles. We had a couple of repairable cartilages. But as of today, we don't have anybody that won't be ready to go in August.
I guess what I meant by health of the program, I mean, just overall as a program.
You're talking about the culture and all that kind of stuff.
Correct. Yeah.
I think it's as good right now as it was when we won 9 games. I think our strength coach, our new coaches have a lot to do with that, but we've got a lot of good kids on our team that's working extremely hard. it'd be hard to be more pleased. In other words, I guess, and it will happen, I'm sure, but you know, we talk about the portal and who might go in, and kids go in for different reasons and all that kind of stuff, but I just don't feel like there'll be a mass exit or possibly any. You know, I feel pretty good about where we're at there. And then I can't remember your last question. I'm sorry.
What has been the most challenging thing this spring, and what do you think will be challenging once you get in the off season?
I think we asked questions about, you know, the quarterback position. You know, where are we going there? I think that was something that we had in our mind. You know, do we have someone that can win a game for us? You know, when without obviously KJ, and I think we feel good there. Obviously, we've got a couple of tackles on the O line, and that we feel, you know, who's going to be the people. I think we found those guys. I feel good about them. The tight end position is one that we're continuing to improve, but that going in, that was a question. You know, what are we going to do there, and who's going to improve? And here's what we've done. The questions at corner, I think we're pretty good. And the questions at defensive end, I think we're pretty good. Linebacker, I think Greer was a great addition for those other guys we've had. Are we still short some guys? Yeah, because we've got 8 scholarships. So we need more, you know, interior guys, need, you know, some more safeties, things of that nature. But we've answered most of those questions in a positive way. Like I say, I like where the culture of the team is. I do. And I think you can feel it at practice, and you'd have to ask the guys that's been out there a lot. And I'm not talking about our guys, the guys on this call. And I think they, you know, honestly, I think they can feel it as well. So I'm happy where we are. It wasn't near as bad as what everybody thought it was. It wasn't as good ever as, you know, I think it is. It's somewhere in between, but I feel real confident with this football team. I really do. I like them.
Thanks, Sam.
All right, guys. Oh, Trace got his.
Just one more, Coach. You kind
Come
of
on,
touched
Trey.
on
You lost weight, Trey. You look good.
I haven't, but thank you. I appreciate it. Just one more about that. You kind of touched a little bit on tackles. I think last week maybe there was a little bit of concern with how well the ends were getting to them, and you've moved Kudus over there for 4 practices now. And obviously, you said you're feeling like you may be starting to figure things out there. How well has he come along?
I like him a lot. We had a discussion, you know, obviously Kudus got value, you know, because he can play center, he can play left guard. But it's sort of like Andrew Thomas. You know, Andrew Thomas at one point at Georgia was starting for us in preseason at left guard. And I'm thinking, well, hell, he might be the best right tackle we had. Now we had Isaiah Wynn, who was a first rounder as well. But you kind of want to start your program from the tackles to the center and then plug in the other guys. And we know Brady Latham can go out there. I've been really impressed with Devin Manuel, really impressed. And Kudus has done really well out there. I mean, real well. That's what we recruited him as a tackle. And of course we hadn't needed him, you know, at that position. But we do now. And I think we're solidifying that area with him and Crawford and Harris and Chamblee and of course Dev. I think we're going to be okay out there.
Thanks, Coach.